Yeah, so today I'm going forward. I'm still talking about fractions, but an important way of looking at them. All right, we're going to be looking at this from the number line. And the number line is everything. All right, so here's a real number line represented by this right here, right? Negative infinity, 0, positive infinity. This pretty much covers any number you can think of. Real number line. So as an analogy, to me, this is like life itself, right? You have positive things that can happen in your life, and you have negative things, right? And when we start learning math, we like to focus on the positive, right? We focus on the positive for a long time, and then we don't give enough attention to the negative. Sometimes we act like the negative doesn't even exist. So on my number line, I'm just going to focus on two numbers, 0 to 1. All right, that's it, 0 to 1. That's all I'm focusing on today, 0 to 1. I remember when I first started talking about this with my students, my main question was between 0 to 1, how many numbers are between 0 to 1? And it was always interesting to hear the different answers. So if I put a dot on this number line, what value does that have? That's the question. Like, what number is that? So there's different ways we can talk about it. We're like, okay, it's not in the middle, so we know it's not half, right? It's closer to 1 than it is to 0. Someone might say it's a point this or a point that, whatever the case may be. But we got to get them thinking. And since today I'm talking about fractions, what I'll start doing is going to like the fractions that we understand quickest, right? And that half is very important. Understanding how that half works is a good start. All right, so what I'm going to do is locate half, and I'm going to mark it. So half is going to be right there in the middle. And there it is. And from here, that's where I want to start talking about counting. If that's 0 and that's 1 over 2, if I go over again, that'll be 2 over 2. You get what I'm saying? 0, 1 over 2, 2 over 2. 2 over 2 is a whole. Now that I got that in half, now I'm going to look here and cut that in half, all right? So if I cut a half in half, what I have now is a quarter, all right? Does that make sense? Here we go. 0, 1 over 4, 2 over 4, 3 over 4, 4 over 4. So 2 over 4 is equivalent to 1/2. 4 over 4 is the same as 1/2. So now I'm looking at these. I'm going to cut this in half, right? So if that's 1/4 and I cut that in half, now I'm looking at 1/8, all right, 1/8. So we got 0, 1 over 8, 2 over 8, 3 over 8, 4 over 8, 5 over 8, 6 over 8, 7 over 8, 8 over 8. All of those are just by counting by 1/8. Now I'm going to come here and cut this in half. And if I cut 1/8 in half, what I'm going to get is 1/16. All right, 1/16. So many different things I can talk about, especially now that I got these numbers written down. For your music people out there, you know, you got half notes, 1/8 notes, 1/16, 1/32. My drummers out there, all this stuff is numerical, rhythm, all of that. So I'm just going to go through how you read this, and then I'll be done. So look what I'm counting by. I'm jumping 1/4 every time. Everybody see that? So if that's 1/4, that makes that 2/4, 3/4. So if you look at the patterns here, you got a 1/4, a 2/4, then a 3/4. Notice how the 2/4 and the 1/4 land on the same spot, right? That's a distinct location on the number line, and they are equivalent fractions. Okay, so across the top, I would jump in 1/4, right? Now on the bottom, I'm jumping 1/8. Look at that, 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8. 6/8 is the same as 3/4. Not only that, but you'll also notice right here, see, 2/8 is the same thing as 1/4, right? 4/8 is the same thing as 1/2. 2/4 is the same thing as 1/2. They belong to the same family. Remember when we were talking about parent and child? So that's one of the things that I did when I was in school on my own, kind of. I started splitting them down and started noticing stuff, right? So, like, the more you start noticing or picking up on those patterns, you're actually strengthening your logic and your reasoning skills. Just practice between 0 and 1. Just practice, splitting it in half, splitting into fourths, 8, 16, 30 seconds, whatever the case may be. Start counting. The counting is what's going to help you understand how they land. All right, so to my producers out there that like sampling and chopping up samples using MPCs, machines, whatever you want to call it, right? With the 16 pads and stuff, we need to talk because all that stuff is fractions. I'm going to need y'all help because I want to break this stuff down musically.